guys? Xanderman here. Welcome back, everybody. I thought I'd throw a little loop in here for you guys. As you can see, I got this beautiful desk. It's amazing, I hope. I'm going to throw everybody for a tailspin. We're going to do something really special today that I have not done at all, and I thought I'd try it out on you guys. Right now, I got my good friend here, who has his own YouTube channel, which is called...
Shorter Studios. Check me out. You might laugh, you might not. If you don't laugh, get out.
I have not checked him out, so I'm not that great of a friend, so I can't say myself how good he is, but I have seen some of his Instagram videos, and they're hilarious. There was a bread one, I laughed my heart out.
Yes, I do remember that one. The bread was very nasty and very soggy. I dipped water in bread. I did bread in water and ate it. That was a messed up idea. Don't try that at home.
That's literally my kryptonite. That and pulling out teeth.
Yeah. Oh, wow. This went straight from bread to
Yeah.
pulling out teeth.
That's what I got right here. All right. So, I'm going to try something new. As I said before, what we're going to be doing is called Versus. I've been listening to a podcast that talks all about comic book movies and comic book TV shows and just comic book stuff in general. And they did a Versus episode, which was super hilarious. The guys that hosted the show did not know anything about the characters that they were talking about, and they just flew by the seat of their pants. So I thought, hey, I could do that too.
Sounds like me.
So we're going to try that here. I got my nifty little book that I have all my secrets in my diary here. And I have written down the characters that we're going to be doing versus. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be throwing them back and forth to each other, and then we're going to discuss how we feel or what we think, who would think if we pin them up against each other, who would win. Mm-hmm. So my thought is, and when we're doing this, is I'm going to steal this from the podcast that I listen to, but they randomly spawn in an enclosed area that they cannot escape, and they instantaneously think that each other is a enemy. Okay. Yeah. So there's no logically thinking out
why would these people fight or anything?
As soon as they see each other across from whatever field or whatever we're in, they instantaneously presume that these guys are
that
enemies.
guy's gotta die.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know who he is, but he's gotta die.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot to say, I sent this out on Instagram and Facebook like a month or two ago, and people commented and gave it back to me. So I didn't just choose these by random. These are audience member participation that commented on the selection that I had and told me specific ones to do. So we're going to get in here. The very first one that we have is Negan versus Ellie. Now, I'm actually really excited about this one because this is actually one of my favorite ones that somebody suggested. Oh, yeah? You know about Ellie. We've both played the game, so we know a little bit about it. So give us a brief down low about who Ellie is.
Okay, so it starts off traditional zombie type genre. Ellie and this one dude named is Joel, they find each other and they stick together throughout this zombie apocalypse. And basically, Ellie is the only one who is immune to the virus that is affecting the human race, turning them into, I forget the technical name they called them, but I'm just going to call them zombies. But in the game, there was a different name for them. Anyway, Ellie, so she's immune, and she basically works together with Joel and develops crazy survival skills along the way. And she learns how to use bows, she learns how to hunt, just learns how to fight for her life, knows how to use guns and everything. So she's basically a zombie killing machine, pretty much, by the end of the game. And yeah, so tell me about Negan, because I don't know anything.
Okay, so Negan is one of my favorite characters from the TV show and the comic book called The Walking Dead. Okay. And Negan is the bad guy in this. He's introduced in, spoilers by the way, for anything that is due to with movies and comic books. Just throwing that out there. Probably should have said that before.
Now that we're halfway through the video, we'll put that.
Probably should have said that before. But in the comic books, he's introduced in issue number 100, and what he does is you hear about him throughout the comic, leading up to him. You hear his name, and you don't know who he is. So he gets the group of the survivors in the zombie apocalypse, and he gets them all down on their knees, and he does an eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and picks one of them and beats them in the head. His signature weapon is a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire.
I think I saw a video of this. Okay,
so he beats one of the people's heads in with a baseball bat. He's introduced in issue 100 as the villain, and then kind of they have an all-out war between the main character and him, and then instead of killing Negan, the lead guy, Rick, leaves him alive and puts him in a jail cell instead. Okay. And so he's kind of in the comic books for a little bit, and then he just kind of has disappeared and has not returned in the comic books. He kind of walks off. He does a lot of other things in the comic books that I don't want to spoil here. And then he just kind of like walks off into the sunset at a certain point, and then we haven't seen him since. He's notorious for giving the bad guy monologues. Okay. And then most of the times towards the end or in the middle of his monologues, he like cut open a guy's stomach just to show the group that he means business. Yeah. He's not for violence and things within the group that he owns. So anybody who disobeys his rule, he heats up an iron and like presses up against their face, and so that he like brands them so everybody knows that they're. So he's a pretty all around bad guy. Yeah. And in the TV show, he's being portrayed by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who is a really good actor. And he is just a sarcastic, just gritty type of villain. And everybody hates him, but yet everybody loves him. You love to hate him, and you hate to love him. As we said before, they appear on the ends of this arena that we have, and they instantaneously think that they are enemies. Okay.
Oof. Well, right off the bat, this is a little tough. Are we doing Last of Us 1, Ellie? So she's still...
I'm only going to say... see, I don't know if I can say yes to that, because... How about this? So, we left her off at the end of Last of Us, and she was very capable and actually able to handle herself. Because Last of Us 2 is not out yet. I don't want to count that as our thing. So we're going to do probably like the end of The Last of Us, so that she's extremely capable and could actually handle herself in a fight, and not the beginning where she couldn't really handle herself in the fight.
Okay. Ooh. Straight off the bat, this is a tough one.
I know.
Ellie's signature weapon is her little knife. She is like...
Does she also have a bow?
She does have a bow, yes. When Joel was injured, she basically kept them alive. She drug him to a little stable. She hunted animals for him, and she brought the animals back. She would like skin them and everything, and then she would make medicine for Joel. So she's like pretty like advanced in all that survival techniques. What do you think Negan would say when he first saw, like...
See, this is what I've been thinking about when I thought about this. He would start by saying some sort of monologue and crap, talking down to her because she's a kid or whatever. And I, without a doubt, know that she'd either shoot him in the face with a gun or just shoot him with a bow and arrow. Yeah. Like, if he monologues in the beginning of the fight, he's dead. Yeah. I think he's instantly dead.
Yes, Ellie definitely has the element of surprise, I'm going to say. Yeah. What's the word I'm looking for?
People don't expect a little girl to do what Ellie does. Yes, exactly. She's got, like the unknown about her. She's I know what you mean.
I'm trying to find that word. Yeah. I can't seem to find it.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, I believe Negan would immediately just see her as a little girl and just be like, oh, she means no threat. Yeah. Probably like walk around a little comfortable with her. But what he doesn't know, Ellie is not just any normal girl. She would probably be already thinking of ways to kill her. I bet she would pull out her knife behind her back and like hold it right here or something, slowly start walking towards him. So let's say he starts monologuing, Ellie's walking closer with her knife. And if he monologues long enough, Ellie would just come up and stab him. I mean, like...
I think if he would catch her before she stabs him with her knife, it would be a good fight, I feel. Okay. And there'd be, he would obviously overpower her just because he's an adult male and she's a little girl. Yeah. But if she doesn't, she has the element of surprise, like you said. So I feel like she would win that battle because Negan would instantly underestimate her abilities because of what she is, like who she is. Yeah,
underestimate. That's what I was looking for.
That's what I think.
In the game, numerous times we played as Ellie, and she would have these levels where she would have to sneak through a group of adult males, and she would take them down one by one. Yeah. Sometimes they would like be looking for her, they would be fighting her, but she would always like do some sort of sneak around and just like she knows her way around a fight.
I agree.
It would definitely be
an interesting battle, but I think Ellie takes the cake here.
Oh yeah?
I really do. I do. I like Negan a lot, and he's done a lot in the comic books, but he doesn't really show that he's a great fighter. You know, he's more of the type of villain that kind of stands in the back and watches as the rest of his guys fight.
Okay.
And only really comes in when the opponent is at its most vulnerable. See, the thing is, okay, massive spoilers here. Massive spoilers. If you're into The Walking Dead, turn away till, a little bit. But
close your eyes and close your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and your ears, hopefully.
And your ears. I forgot about those. We have those.
But don't unsubscribe.
Don't unsubscribe.
And if you're down, since you're away at the moment, tap the like button. And
just do it real quick.
Give it a thumbs up.
It's like 1 second out of your day.
Yeah, exactly. He is very cunning, and he is very manipulative. He manipulates the leader of one group to falling in love with him, and then he beheads her.
Yikes!
When they get close.
Yikes! Okay.
So it's like he's a good manipulator, and he's, but I still don't see him beating Ellie. I think what's gonna happen is when they get in there, he instantaneously underestimates her.
Okay.
That's what I feel like.
That's pretty much what I would think too.
Yeah.
She would just walk up, she means business. She's by the end of Last of Us, she's been through a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And The Last of Us 2, she looks crazy.
She
awesome.
looks crazy. The trailer of the first one, the trailer of the part 2 opens up with her in a house with a whole bunch of dead bodies that presumably that she killed.
Yeah.
At least 6 or maybe not that much, maybe 4 or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right.
she's sitting on the bed playing guitar, and she's has a bandage over her arm. She's bleeding, and she's all cool looking, and so
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna say Ellie takes this one.
Yep.
Just because of the element of surprise, and she doesn't mess around.
Yeah, I know. Yep, I'm gonna say that too.
That's pretty much.
So there it is, Ellie for victory number 1. All right, so the next one, hopefully we're gonna be able to go by this one pretty quickly.
Okay.
The next one was another comment somebody suggested. It was Superman versus myself in a musical.
Oh, okay. So it's yours. That's
so it's me. It's literally me in a musical. So for those of you don't know, I do musicals on the side just for fun, and I'm good at it.
He's pretty good. He's pretty. You should hear his voice. It's like butter being spread on a piece of toast right before you eat it.
A soggy piece of toast?
No, not watered down piece of toast. I know how that tastes. Not that, but a good, just clean. You guys get the picture. You get the picture. I'm not gonna live that down. Man, every time I think about that, it's always just the taste. Anyway.
If we go by the rules of what we set, which is we spawn in a random place, in the opposite ends of this arena, and we're instantaneously reveal his enemy. Who do you want to take? Do you want to take Superman, or do you want to take me in a musical? Well, actually, I feel like you described me pretty well. I'm like butter on a soggy piece of toast.
Well, my first question is, who in their right mind would look across the room, see Superman standing over there, and is like, I'm gonna fight you? That's my first question. But it depends. What musical are you in, and what character are you portraying? Because if you're in DC superheroes,
that's true.
And you're playing Superman, then
well, considering that we judged by Ellie the last place that we saw her, which was in the Last of Us, the first one, I'm gonna have to go with the last musical that I was in, which was The Secret Garden.
The Secret Garden.
Which I was a depressed man who had lost his wife, and he was just depressed in the house.
Oh no.
So I'm a mortal man who's depressed versus Superman, who's a Kryptonian alien.
Who apparently wants to kill you.
Who wants to kill me.
Well,
I'd want to give this to me, but I feel like Superman would just heat vision my face off.
Yes, he wouldn't even have to get close. He
Right. He would just stand across the field and I'd be down in a second.
Multiple ways to just finish you off. A quick breath, he'll freeze you, and then that's it. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to give this one to Superman.
All right. Well, that one was pretty easy. Well done, Superman. You bested the best of us. The next one was sent in by another commenter. It is Yoda versus Dark Helmet.
Dark Helmet.
Now, do you know who Dark Helmet is?
Yeah,
I didn't know. I've never seen the movie.
I saw the movie once, but it was a long time ago, and I don't remember like anything.
Okay.
I know that it was the movie was a parody of Star Wars.
Right. Yes.
So everything was like funny, and so Dark Helmet, of course, is supposed to represent Darth Vader. Dark Helmet.
Yeah.
I've never seen his costume in the movie. It looked pretty funny.
Oh, there should be a photo popping up here every time we mention one of their names.
Okay,
I'm gonna be editing a photo.
Thanks, editing guy.
Yeah, I know, right? It's me. It's me. I do all the editing.
It's all me. But I'm just gonna start with what I know, which is Yoda. So I know Yoda. He is a Jedi Master. I'm not a huge Star Wars nerd, but I have seen all the movies, and of course, I owned lightsabers as a kid, and I would pretend I was Yoda. I wouldn't as a kid.
Are you supposed to get
yesterday? Okay, yesterday.
I was gonna say, are you supposed to get rid of them? Because I have like 3.
No, not at all, man. Keep them. The only reason I don't have them is because I like broke them.
Come on.
Used them way too much.
I went out and bought new ones. If that happens.
Have you seen those ones that are like super big and they're like lightning effects?
Yeah, I know. I want to get one, but then I'm afraid that I would just break it, and it's seriously? Like $100.
For real, like
they're
what
expensive.
In the world?
They're expensive.
But anyway, Yoda. First of all, I know that he's super agile. Like he uses the Force. All the Jedi characters use the Force to like jump like crazy, do crazy flips. If you watch the movies, you know what I mean. Yeah. Yoda himself, since he's so small, combined with the Force, he is like a little. When I would play have you played Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Yeah. Oh, I love Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Those moves he does when you tap the trigger, he's like a ball with a lightsaber sticking out of it, and he's just like.
Anytime I see Yoda on the battleground, I run the other way because I know that there's no way that I'm going to be able to beat him because he's just like a flippin' little ninja, just like throwing a lightsaber.
That's the perfect word. He's a ninja with a lightsaber he's a ninja with a sword that could cut through you with heat. Yeah.
I don't even. I mean, okay, I'm gonna give you a quick down run of Dark Helmet because we obviously know who this is going to go to, but. Dark Helmet, again, I haven't seen the movie, so I'm literally going off of what I've seen from memes and stuff and parodies. But it's a parody of, like Short said, Mr. Shorty.
Mr. Shorty.
Like he said, it's a parody of Darth Vader. So he's basically the opposite of Darth Vader, in a sense. So he's not very smart. He's not very intelligent. He kind of makes quips. And I think that most of his equipment doesn't work in his battle station, if I remember correctly. Yes. So he's literally outmatched, outgunned, and out
ninja.
In
every single possible way. But knowing what little I know about Dark Helmet, knowing that it would be a funny battle.
It would.
It would be a hilarious battle. There would be tons of jokes, but in the end, Yoda would just get tired of him and just probably kill him. Even though that's not what a real Jedi would do, in this instance, Yoda just wants to kill somebody.
Yes. In the rules that we have set up previously, Yoda just wants to kill somebody.
He just wants to kill somebody.
All right, great job, Yoda. Taking the cake home.
Got that one.
The next one is, I think you actually said this one.
I did.
And I'm actually really excited to discuss this one.
This is a good one.
So it is Green Arrow versus Hawkeye. Mm-hmm. Now I have a question. Yes. Have you seen the CW Green Arrow, like the TV show?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you've obviously seen the Jeremy Renner of Hawkeye.
Yes.
Are we going off of those, or are we going off the comic book versions?
The comic book versions for both characters are like extreme. Everything in the movie is like so downplayed. In the comic books, they're like these masters of combat, like insane. But in the movies, they're just normal guys with a little bit of well, not a little bit of training, but like
right.
With a good amount of training who likes to fight. So let's start off with the comic books.
Okay,
So,
all right, cool.
I did a little bit of research.
Okay,
So
great.
I had a notebook and everything, but I lost it. So all my knowledge is going to be coming from here.
Fly by the seat of our pants. That's the way we do it here, man.
Exactly. All right, so start off. Let's start off with
Who do you want to take first? Do you want to take comic book Hawkeye or comic book Green Arrow?
I'm gonna go with Hawkeye first, cause all right, this might anger some of you guys, but I am a Marvel fan, true to heart.
That's right,
so
boy.
if I sound a little biased, please don't get too mad. But I know when
Rage
enough,
in the comments.
I know when enough is enough, and I know Spider-Man would never beat Superman in an actual fight.
Or me in a musical. Would never beat Superman.
Exactly. So Hawkeye, let's start off with him. He was a trained assassin. He trained with Black Widow, just like the comic book is very similar to the movie. Him and Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, were partners, and they would go around just killing people. Pretty much, they were assassins, race assassins. Hawkeye later is recruited by the Avengers. I think it was the New Avengers comic, but I could be wrong. If I had my notebook, I would be spot on with all my information. But
I'm gonna say yes. So that's what I'm saying.
He is a skilled fighter. He is able. One of his skills I saw when I was looking through his Wikipedia page. When he shoots, his accuracy is so great. He is able to pierce a drop of water with his arrow as it falls through. That's how insane the comic books are. You don't see that in the movie, but the comic books like over exaggerate everything. But let's see, his combat level. So we talked about his bow and arrow, his accuracy a little bit. He could shoot numerous arrows at once and have them hit different targets. Like you know what I mean. If you've seen like
trick arrows,
arrow shots, like you jump up, you see 3 arrows, and 3 bad guys are like and they all fall down and stuff like that.
Legolas style.
Exactly. Like he was one of the highest martial artists next to Captain America, I'd say.
Oh wow.
So he's pretty good in that. He's pretty good with combat stuff. So I did this cool little like connect the dots kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So in the comic books, Hawkeye's combat ability is said to almost match Captain America. So he could like, and if they fight long enough, I think. Actually, no. Captain America would still win, but he could like hold.
I feel like only because of the super soldier serum.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that gives him super like strength.
Yes.
Other than that, because Hawkeye's just a regular guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any superhuman abilities, and he's able to keep up with Captain America, which is pretty incredible.
Yes.
Without any superhuman abilities.
Yeah. So that alone, Green Arrow doesn't have any superhero abilities too. So.
Yeah. Right. These are just normal guys that are incredibly good with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, pretty much. So Hawkeye was able to go toe to toe with Captain America for like, I think, a good while, and he was able to disarm Captain. He didn't beat him, but he disarmed him and ran away because his real intent wasn't to fight Captain America at that time. It was to do something else. But anyway, in a DC Marvel's comic book crossover, have you seen that one? DC Marvel, they like had this. It was like a huge.
No, I haven't.
Anyway, one of the greatest moments in that comic book. It was Batman and Captain America. Okay. They finally met because, like, I know that's been a huge debate over like all the fanboys. They're like, oh, who would win, Captain America or Batman?
Yeah.
Anyway, they had this. They were like fighting. They were sparring. They wouldn't actually start fighting yet, but they were like kind of testing each other, like moving around.
Yeah.
And because Batman's so smart, and because Captain America, he's pretty smart too. Batman's like this. He's like, Batman said, if we fought, you would be able to beat me, but it would take a long time. That's what that's a rough quote of what he said.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
And Captain America's like, okay, let's work together and find out what the real enemy was, because there's something happened where the two worlds collide. It wasn't supposed to happen. So anyway, Batman kind of admits or kind of suggests that Captain America would win in a fight against Batman. Now, Batman and Green Arrow, I think they fought a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
It was, man, I don't quite remember that. I think that's where my memory gets a little foggy. But Batman versus Green Arrow, it was a good fight. I'm not sure if they actually like fought like as like enemies, but I think they did train together, and their Batman and Green Arrow's combat was almost identical. I think they both trained under the same master.
League of Shadows.
League of Shadows. Yes, that's exactly. Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul. So yeah.
Or Ra's al Ghul, whichever you want to go by.
So, with Batman and Green Arrow being like almost combat identical, and then Batman and Captain America, with Batman saying Captain America could be Batman, and then Hawkeye Hawkeye disarming Captain America for like one fight. That didn't beat him, but he disarmed him and was able to get away. He outsmarted him. I think it's safe to say that Hawkeye and Green Arrow, maybe Hawkeye would win. I mean,
yeah.
It's a very vague theory, but I think Hawkeye might have more combat experience than Green Arrow. I don't know.
Okay, so I know Green Arrow from the comic books a little bit. I know him more from the TV show, but in the comics, he's pretty quippy. He's pretty funny. And he has a ton of trick arrows.
Yes,
like bomb arrows, and so does Hawkeye. Hawkeye has a lot of trick arrows, too. That's kind of the stuff that the Avengers leaned into a little bit in the movies with Hawkeye, but didn't really. Like, some of the arrows that they have were pretty stinking ridiculous. But I know, like we've said before, that the Green Arrow has trained with the League of Shadows. So I do know he's pretty well versed in fighting. But if, knowing all that said about Green Arrow in the comic books and Hawkeye in the comic books, and following your thread, I feel like if they were just dropped in the arena and perceived each other as enemies, I feel like there would be a lot of arrow shooting that they'd be able to knock each other's arrows down. Like, they'd never actually be able to land a hit on each other. I feel like they'd be able to shoot each other's arrows down, like, almost identically. And then when they got together combat-wise, hand-to-hand, in the comic books, I kind of feel like Hawkeye would win, too.
You think so?
I think so. It would be an extremely long fight.
Yes.
That might last a few hours or days.
Hours or days.
But it would be a fight to remember. But I think comic book Hawkeye has it over comic book Green Arrow.
Yes.
Now, if we talk about film in cinematic versions, I definitely think cinematic Green Arrow would kick cinematic Hawkeye's butt.
Yeah. Definitely.
Only because one of the downfalls of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is they did not use Hawkeye as well as they should have.
For real.
They have only just now started to get him good. From
my phone's making weird
from
noises.
Avengers Age of Ultron to where he is now, I feel like that's the time that they actually got him right as a character. They started to get him a little right in Age of Ultron, and then they really got him right in Civil War, and then we haven't seen him yet.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't Infinity War. Where were you, Hawkeye, when your friends needed you?
How dare you betray him? Seeing that too, he wasn't even there. He wasn't even there to fight the purple guy himself.
The purple guy. Because we all know, to be honest, if Hawkeye was there, the battle would have been over.
Yeah, right.
Thanos has got nothing on Hawkeye.
It's trick arrows, man. He pulled out the one that has the punching glove at the end.
Exactly.
And then he would just shoot it, and then
Thanos
there was
like, ooh,
yeah, exactly.
The
There
would fall off.
exactly. There would be no need for Star-Lord to freak out or anything. If
Exactly.
Hawkeye was there on Titan, he would just shoot him with that thing.
Easy.
And he'd be out.
That's why they didn't put him in the movie, because they knew
he's too OP. He's too of an OP character. I think TV show Green Arrow would take.
Yes.
Cinematic.
Easy. But one thing about the comic books, I think I did read that Green Arrow is more skilled with the bow than Hawkeye. I think
Okay.
Hawkeye has combat over Green Arrow, but Green Arrow has archer ability over Hawkeye.
So you think if they stayed at a distance, Green Arrow would win?
Yes, but if
they got in close enough, that to be hand-to-hand combat, that Hawkeye would win.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
But you also have to go factor in the character's intelligence too.
Right.
I think Hawkeye would quickly realize that Green Arrow would be a little better
shot.
So he would try to be moving in closer, but Green Arrow's, he's not dumb either. So he'd be like, I gotta back away and shoot this guy. So, and
it would honestly boil down to, in the comic books, which one would get more arrogant. Because I know they're both arrogant in the comic books. In a good, not in a good way, no. But, they're both arrogant and charming. So it would all depend on which one would stumble on their arrogance first. I feel like that would be the downfall of that character in the comic books.
I think upon seeing, them both dropping in a room and seeing the other guy with the bow and arrow, and they're like, hey, that's my thing.
Yeah, right. They'd have a little quick back and forth.
Exactly.
And then they'd get into it.
Yeah, I think it'd be like a fun battle, definitely. They'll be kind of testing each other and stuff like that, but that's a close one. That's always been a thought of mine, who would win, because they're both archers. I'm not sure which character was invented first. I think, was it Green Arrow?
I think so.
But yeah, it might have been because I think DC Comics did start a little earlier than
and
Marvel.
I think he was in one of the first Justice Leagues of America.
Okay, so one of the old ones.
Yeah, one of the first issues.
But so in a way, don't get mad at me for saying this. I'm a Marvel fan too, so I understand. But in a way, Hawkeye might be a little bit of a clone of Green Arrow in some aspects.
Maybe.
But yeah, it would.
Comic book, I still got to give it to him in the comic books. I really do. Yeah,
definitely.
And that might be my Marvel heart fan going on. I love DC, but it's just sometimes DC fails you.
Sometimes.
As
Justice League.
Yeah, right. As you can see, Batman versus Superman. Suicide Squad.
Oh man, we gotta.
Oh, sorry, I need to take a drink of my Gatorade. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
All right, so congratulations to comic book Hawkeye and TV show Green Arrow. There are victors out of these two situations. Did it always make you a little sad that they never put cinematic Hawkeye in his purple costume?
Yes.
You have Captain America and Iron Man, and you think not putting a guy in a purple costume is maybe not as ridiculous.
I know, yes.
I mean, maybe without the mask, but you still could have put him in a purple costume. Yeah. But that was the one thing that I never really liked. I was like, why don't you put him in his comic book costume?
I grew up on the comic books, so everything has to be looking like the comic books for me to feel like it's a super like a movie of that character. And yeah, Hawkeye without his purple outfit, it made me a little sad. Yes, it made me really sad. I was like, come on guys, why not? But that first Captain America Avengers costume, it was a little funky though. It was I'm not sure about that one.
In the movie? Maybe?
Yeah, the first Avengers. You remember that one? I thought that was a little weird, but...
See, that one's my favorite.
It was your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, actually, that's not true. It's between that one and the one that's in Civil War.
Okay.
Civil War was one of my favorite ones, too.
Good.
But I really liked the Captain America First Avengers because it had the buckles, and it looked like the time period, and it had the...
Okay, yeah.
That kind of
Oh,
retro...
no, not First Adventure. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love, first Avengers movie.
I love that one.
Okay.
I meant when they first all
got
together.
No, that one was so weird.
Okay.
When he had his helmet on, it gave him pudgy cheeks. And Chris Evans is not a pudgy cheek guy. He's a very trim and fit gentleman.
Yeah, he's a hunky dude.
It's I feel like the director halfway through the movie realized that his cheeks look super pudgy in it. So I was like, anytime you can take off your mask, you can just do it.
Just go ahead.
Just go ahead and rip it off. We need to see those luscious locks. Next one is an interesting battle. I don't really know how this is gonna go. So it's Voldemort versus Ant-Man. So we're getting a little bit of the wizarding world and the superhero genre clashing. Now, do you know? I don't mean to underestimate your abilities of any of the. But do you know Voldemort? Have you seen or read the books or seen the movies?
Yes. Earlier this year, I watched the Harry Potter series
did you?
For the first time.
Was it because it was on Hulu?
No, actually, my family just decided to watch it.
Oh, did okay? They all came
But
on Hulu, and my wife has never seen them before.
Really?
So I was like, let's all throughout I think 2 weeks we watched a movie almost every night.
Nice.
Or like every 2 nights or something like that. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, just recently I watched all the Harry Potters, and I was just like, man, I missed out on this in my childhood.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty good. My parents didn't want me watching it growing up for some reason.
Oh yeah, mine neither. They didn't like that. So when I turned 18, I was like, I'll give these a shot. I don't hate them, and I don't love them. I feel like if I watched them when I was a kid, I'd absolutely love them. Yeah. Like now, like there would be so much nostalgia behind them.
Yeah, exactly.
But since I watched them when I was 18, I like them, and I love the world that it builds, and I really like the Fantastic Beasts series that has come out.
Definitely.
So I really like that world, but I'm not like huge. Like Lord of the Rings is what I watched instead of Harry Potter when I was young. Yeah. So I love the Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Like, I love it so much. So that for me. So who do you want to take? Do you want to take Ant-Man or Voldemort?
I'll take Ant-Man because I do know more about Ant-Man than Voldemort.
Okay, and we're gonna go cinematic. Should we go cinematic Ant-Man or comic book Ant-Man?
Oof. Well, comic book Ant-Man, there's two Ant-Mans. There's Hank Pym or Scott Lang. Well, I guess cinematic there is too. Yeah. But which one should we go with? Scott Lang or Hank Pym? Hank Pym was the original Ant-Man.
Yeah, and he was the one that started helped form the Avengers and everything.
Yeah, so that Hank Pym is super smart.
Yeah.
He's like Reed Richards, Fantastic Four. Yeah, he's on that kind of mental level. Reed Richards is one of the greatest minds in Marvel Universe. I haven't kept up with Scott Lang too much, but if it's anything like the movie, I guess he's just an average guy. Hank Pym entrusted him with the Ant-Man suit, and he is now the Ant-Man.
Hey, I know a little bit about that. In the comic books, his daughter was actually diagnosed with, I think, some form of cancer or something like that. Okay. And he's an ex-con, so he's a criminal. He's an excellent thief. And so he actually, sort of like in the movie, steals the suit from Hank Pym and basically goes to, basically he goes, I think what happened was, if I remember this correctly, because he was a criminal, he owed some money to some guys. So these guys went and kidnapped his daughter, and she was terminally, she was really ill. So he stole the suit from Hank Pym, because it was at the time where Hank Pym quit the Avengers, and so he was by himself. So he was able to get into Hank Pym's lab and steal it, and then go and rescue his daughter, but then Hank Pym also realized that it was stolen and followed him and everything. And came and was since he quit the Avengers, kind of gave the mantle, sort of like in the movie, gave the mantle to Scott Lang. This is very rough. This isn't exactly how it happens in the comic books, but it's very close to it. And kind of gives the mantle to Scott Lang and actually helps his daughter, and I think cures her of the illness, or begins to start curing her of the illness that she has. That's nice. Because what he was doing was stealing money from banks to pay for her treatment. And so when he was doing that, he stole from the wrong people, and so they came after him. Okay, yeah. So that's kind of what happened there, and so he was making a bad name for Ant-Man because he was being caught. He got caught on camera, and so everybody thought that it was Ant-Man doing all this stuff when it really wasn't. So that kind of was but he is a very good thief. He's a really good. He's broken into high security places and done things like that. Okay. So he is a really good thief, but other than that, kind of an average fighter. Yeah. So I think since you know more about Hank Pym, we're gonna go comic book Hank Pym. Okay. And then I don't know about the book Voldemort. I know they're very similar, so we're just gonna have to go with Voldemort as.
I've only seen the movies, so I could only do that much. So Hank Pym, super smart guy, helped create the Avengers, like you said. He, smart enough to create a suit that makes you shrink your shrink down to like a I can't words to molecular. There it is, molecular level.
Yep.
I think he's an average fighter. I'm sure he doesn't have any like superpowers. I think when he's smaller, his strength still when he's small, his strength still remains. So even though he's small, you'll still feel like you're getting hit by a tall dude if he punches you in the face. So let's see. Actually, I guess I don't know as much about Hank Pym in the comic books as I thought. Yikes, sorry guys. But yeah.
That character, I know a little bit about him in the comic book.
Okay.
That character is such a interesting character because he's extremely smart, and then it turns out that the Hank Pym particles is what they call the shrinking serum that he has, makes him go crazy for a while, because then he becomes a villain in the comic books, Yellow Jacket.
Yes, Yellow Jacket. Okay, I do remember
that. And kind of was like a villain to the Avengers for a little bit, but then kind of goes back to Hank Pym. And I know it's so weird. It's one of those shock moments that they put in the comic books back when it was in the 70s and things like that, and a lot of controversial, divisive stuff wasn't really like. It was more acceptable, I guess.
Yeah.
But he literally backhands his wife for talking back to him or something like that in the comic book. Like he's pretty when he's going crazy.
Yeah.
That was their excuse, was he's going crazy, so he slaps his wife around, and that was the Wasp, and she leaves him, and so his life basically goes down the toilet, and that's when he becomes Yellow Jacket, because he's going crazy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't actually know if he ever redeems himself. I know he dies, but I don't know how. That's kind of where my Hank Pym knowledge kind of runs out.
Yeah,
But he can also shrink and grow to
could,
Giant Man.
Yeah, Giant Man. Get it? Ant-Man, Ant-Man. I thought when I found that out.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so stupid, but it's so awesome.
I know. I was just looking at the two names, wait a second, same dude, Giant. Oh! Oh my goodness. I thought I was so clever for finding that.
That was awesome. I didn't even think about that. It's been right in front of our face this whole time. 22 years of my life has been living a lie.
A whole lot.
Okay, so we kind of touched on Ant-Man, so let's go to Voldemort. So I'll talk a little bit about him, and then you can talk a little bit about him. So Voldemort is he is one of the let's just say this. He's one of the most powerful wizards in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. That I do know, okay? And because of Grindelwald being in prison during the times of Harry Potter, I would say he would be the most powerful evil wizard that is out at the time. So his name is Tom Riddle. He's a kid. He's an orphan who's taken in by Dumbledore, and he teaches him how to control the magic that is within him. And so as his journey goes on, he grows up, and he's kind of like a dark, twisted kind of kid, and finds out about these things where what are they called? Horcrux.
Yes.
Finds out about Horcruxes where you can split your soul, and he splits his soul into 6 pieces. Yeah. Actually splits his soul into 7 pieces, but he doesn't know that he does that when he tries to kill Harry Potter. So he splits his soul into 6 pieces so that he can basically live forever. There's theories going around that because he made his snake, Nagini, one of his soul pieces, that's why he kind of looks like a snake. And so the more you tear away your soul, the less humanity you have. So that's why he looks the way he looks in the movies, where he's pale and kind of very sickly looking.
On the edge of his life.
Do you remember in the movies when they first start to reveal him, and he's like that little baby looking thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so creepy.
I watched that. I was just like, whoa, what in the world?
No, it was gross. There should be a picture up on screen right now. Look at that. Man. Fear it! It's so bad. I hate it.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just like, wait, is that Voldemort? I was like, wait, what?
It looked like a baby. It was
Like
it was gross. Have you ever seen the movie The Passion of the Christ?
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces, but
Have you ever seen like the baby that like the demon baby that's in the movie?
no.
Oh, okay. So, in the moment of Passion of the Christ, we're side trailing here. This is when Jesus is being beaten by the Romans and whipped and everything and lashed. He sees a woman that looks demented, pretty much, carrying a baby, and then, I kid you freaking not, the baby turns his head and looks at Jesus, like Christ, and it has a human adult face, and it's like a man, and it's supposed to be Lucifer, like the devil, and he's like, and he like smiles and gives him like a creepy side eye. Nope.
Man.
That's what it reminds me of every time I see Voldemort. I think of the devil. It's so bad. It's so creepy.
Oof. I gotta watch that movie. I didn't watch it.
It's a good movie.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's very gory.
Yeah,
Extremely gory.
I've never seen some pieces of it.
So, that being said, drop them into an arena. Who do you think would win?
Ooh, this is a question of like magic versus science.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I like it. It's cool.
I guess. First, I guess when Ant-Man first looks at Voldemort, he'll be like, "Oh, that's an ugly looking man. There's probably something wrong." He'll probably assume that this guy has some sort of power. Let's see. Do you know if Hank Pym is like friends with Doctor Strange at all in the comic books?
I don't know that.
You don't know?
I don't, but I'm pretty sure they know of each other because they've been on the Avengers together and things like that. So, I think he knows what magic is.
Okay, yeah. I know that he knows what magic is. I'm wondering if he, as like a defense against if Doctor Strange ever went bad. I wonder if he would like do something.
Think of
like
way to take him down.
Exactly. If so, then he would be a lot more prepared than I would assume. Just like popping him, he's like, oh, just a normal guy, but then Voldemort would wizard him or something. I mean, off the bat, I would say that Voldemort has an upper hand because he doesn't even have to get close to Ant-Man. I mean, like, yeah, okay. I gotta keep remembering that they just want to kill each other. I'm trying to look for the reason that Voldemort would be like, oh, I gotta kill this man, but they just want to kill each other.
No, it's just rage. Okay. Instant rage.
So instant rage, Ant-Man would immediately shrink down and start running towards him. Voldemort would be like, whoa, where'd he go? And probably start zapping around. Looking up, Ant-Man, a little dude looking up, he would probably see Voldemort zapping his wand around and be like, oh, I gotta destroy that wand. That probably has all the sorts of power. So he'd probably jump up and snap the wand, I assume. And does Voldemort have, like, can he do anything without his wand?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? So, if Ant-Man snaps that wand, Voldemort's pretty much, done. And Ant-Man would just jump in his nose and just, slowly expand. That's kind of gross, but that's how I always assumed Ant-Man would finish off his enemies. Just jump in their ear and just whoop.
Grow back to being big. Oh,
exactly.
Man,
that's what Invisible Woman, Sue Storm, Invisible Woman of the Fantastic Four, that's, I think in the movie, she's, Jessica Alba, she was like, I could put a force bubble in your brain and slowly expand it until you explode or something like that. And I was like, whoa, snap.
That's vicious right there. Holy cow.
Well, what do you think, Ant-Man?
I was tossing and turning about this one specifically because, like you said, it's science versus magic. So I think what would happen is Voldemort would land at opposite ends, and Voldemort would give him the killing curse, the Avada Kedavra. And by the time the bolt of lightning would try to reach Ant-Man, I think he could shrink down, like you said, and it would miss him. So then Voldemort wouldn't know where he went. And if he doesn't go for the wand, I think Ant-Man would be able to land a few punches on him. But I think Voldemort would ultimately win this fight. I think so.
What would make Ant-Man get back big? Or why? Would he be able to catch him? Do you think? That's
the thing. If he stays small, I I think this one specifically, actually, this next one might be really tough too. But this one specifically is a toss-up. I think if he stays small, I think he has it in the bag. I think he would win.
Yeah.
But I think if he does anything like he does in the movie and goes small and then becomes big and starts punching him,
then it's an easy target.
Target. So I kind of want to leave. Like, I kind of want to lean more towards Ant-Man. But I also lean, like, I'm like right in the middle.
Yeah, this is such a weird matchup.
Yeah, it is. It's a really weird matchup, and I just don't know. I honestly think it would be... I would still have to go with Voldemort, just because of the magic aspect, and he is a wizard. So I would just have to give it to him.
All right, I'll give that one to Voldemort.
All right, congratulations, Voldemort. You are the winner. Last but certainly not least, we saved the best for last. I'm actually really excited to discuss this one. This is my favorite DC character of all time. He's my favorite. Yeah, he is. He's literally. I actually suggested this one.
Okay.
So he's my favorite DC character, and this other character is one of my favorite Marvel characters. Captain America is my favorite Marvel character, and then I think he's either a close second or a third.
Okay.
So this one is Nightwing versus Daredevil.
Dun, 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 dun.
The prodigy son versus the man without fear.
The man without fear. Oof.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, Daredevil. I will take Daredevil.
Yeah. Okay. You would take Daredevil.
I love Daredevil. I like this show. Have you guys seen this show?
Oh, I love this show.
It's
I was
amazing.
watching that show, and that's when I was talking to you about getting together for this. I was watching that show, and that's what made me think about Daredevil versus Nightwing. Yeah. Because I was like, man, wouldn't a Nightwing series like this Daredevil series be so good? And then I thought, wouldn't Nightwing versus Daredevil be so good?
Right off the bat, Daredevil, if you guys don't know, Daredevil, he suffered an accident with some chemicals which blinded him but enhanced all his other senses, like insane. Have you seen Avatar, The Last Airbender, the TV show?
No, I haven't.
Well, there's this one earthbender, her name is Toph, and she like feels the ground, and it did this cool little sequence and she like feel the ground, she could feel the vibration. She like when someone stepped, she instantly knew where that person was.
Right.
Stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Daredevil has that kind of power.
Right.
His hearing is enhanced like crazy. His smelling is enhanced. Pretty much anything that you can't, anything except his eye. Everything except his eyes was enhanced.
Yeah.
So, there's also this one scene in the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck where him and Elektra. Well, I don't think she was Elektra at the time, but she would later become Elektra in her movie. Right. The rain was falling, and the rain, rain makes noise and everything. Yeah. And, like, it was, like, falling on everything, and because of the rain falling on her face and, like, and making noise every time it hit her skin, he was able to
see
her. Yeah, he could, like, see. It was like a blue vision. But like, he could perfectly see her.
Yeah.
So he has that kind of sonar detection ability, kind of like a bat, but better. Hey, Bat and Nightwing.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, he is because of that, he is a skilled fighter. Oh, his father was a boxer, and was murdered because his father didn't do a match like
throw a match.
Yeah, didn't throw a match like he was supposed to. So a lot of his fighting style is taken from his father's boxing. And very close combat. His weapons of choice are these two batons.
I don't know exactly what they're called, but they're the sticks.
Yeah, the two sticks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, he has like insane accuracy with those. He could like throw them like crazy, stuff like that. So his combat, he is very skilled.
He can like link them together and like throw and like swing off of them and everything.
It's pretty cool. It's like a whip that turns into a staff.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, let's see, where was I? His combat. His fighting style is very close ranged. He is skilled with like pretty much every type of weapon. I think that might be all I have for him right now, unless I could think of something else. What about Nightwing?
All right.
I'll try to think of something else.
Yeah, you think of something else. I'll think of Nightwing, a.k.a. Dick Grayson. He is the number one Robin when Batman takes on any Robins. He was a part of a circus act with his family called the Flying Graysons. They tragically were killed and left him orphaned. One of their acts went awry, and they ended up dying, leaving him alone. So Batman Bruce Wayne knowing that feeling kind of takes him in as his ward, and kind of like almost a father figure to him type of thing. And, Dick Grayson ends up finding out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, so then he becomes Robin, and he's Robin with him for a while, and he is actually one of the only Robins that's ever survived being with Batman.
Yikes.
Batman's had like 6 Robins.
When you say it like that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And mind you, they're all children. They're not like, they're teens. They're not adults. He's Robin for a long time, and basically feels like Batman doesn't give him any credit for being who he is and being a very skilled fighter. He was trained by the Dark Knight himself from basically like a kid.
Yeah.
I think he was like 12 when he became. So he was trained by Batman. He was trained by one of the greatest fighters in the world. And then feeling like Batman doesn't give him any credit for anything that he does, he ends up leaving Batman and becoming his own person, his own superhero called Nightwing in a city called Bloodhaven. It's one of the sister cities to Gotham City.
Okay.
And kind of like runs that area over there. And I do actually know, fun fact, that Nightwing is actually better at acrobatics than Batman is. So he's actually more nimble than Batman himself. Because he's a part of the Flying Graysons. Now, he also has the 2 batons that can turn... some versions, they have shocking, on the ends, so they're like shock sticks, and sometimes he can turn them into a staff and fight, He actually took up the mantle as Batman when Batman, quote-unquote, went missing and died for a while. And... was actually really good at it. The only person that was actually able to see through him was the Joker. The Joker, because
of course,
knowing
it's the
Batman,
Joker.
knowing Batman,
Joker.
actually, the Joker actually knew that it was Dick Grayson, Dick Grayson, but knew it was Robin.
Yeah.
And so that was the only person that was able to pick him out of all of his Batman's rogue villains and everything, which is a pretty cool little thing.
Joker's one of the coolest. I know he's crazy. I know he's messed up, but he is one of the coolest.
Yeah, he is.
Villains ever.
He is.
I don't know why.
Yeah. So that's Nightwing. His fighting style is very similar to Daredevil's, where it's on the ground, but his is more, because he's an acrobatic. Yeah. His is more flippy and flippant, so he has a lot of flips and things like that he can do, where I feel like Daredevil's is more like close encounter and street boxing and things like that.
Definitely. Well, Nightwing, he has training from Batman, like you said. Batman is one of the, and that little connected dots thing I did, Batman fought with Captain America. Batman would be able to go toe-to-toe with Captain America. And Daredevil versus Captain America, I'm not quite sure who, I think Captain America might win against Daredevil. I don't want to say easy.
Again, no superpowers. They are just humans. Yes. They're regular guys.
Well,
Well, I mean, technically, it's not a superpower, but his enhanced hearing and everything is a superpower.
Yeah. So, man.
I would think, if you don't mind me interjecting, I think it would be a very brutal battle. I feel like Nightwing would start running towards him, and Daredevil would be able to hear him instantly. And Daredevil might start by throwing one of his batons at Nightwing, and he might be able to hit it away with one of his, and then Nightwing might throw one of his, and then Daredevil would just be able to dodge it because he'd hear the wind and everything. And then it would get in close, and there'd be some physical punches and everything. I think this battle would be brutal and would be down to the bone, beat down. There might not be any survivors. It would be pretty intense.
Yes, in the comic books, Daredevil is known for he doesn't really care about his life.
That's one.
Much.
Yeah,
he doesn't care if he lives or he dies. So he
and that's one thing about Daredevil that is actually really cool, because he can get beat down like time and time again, but he always gets right back up. You know what I mean?
That's one of the things he saw his father. His father would always get back up, so he got that from his dad.
He got that from his father. But this is my thought, and you can call me crazy if not, but since Nightwing is better acrobatic than Batman, I think Nightwing would be able to get... I don't think he'd be able to kill Daredevil, but I think he'd be able to knock him unconscious with a good leg sweep and then a punch to the head, maybe. Ooh. Maybe like jumping over him and like doing a flip over him and then sweeping his legs.
Yeah, since Nightwing is a good acrobatic, that means he would be light on his feet, which would probably mean a little harder for Daredevil to detect with his
hearing
than the average clunky shoed gangster.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm gonna
right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna Nightwing he looks like the better candidate.
Yeah.
in this situation, like trained under Batman himself. Batman is like, do I want to say the most skilled fighter in DC Universe? Like,
yeah, I think so. I would give it to him.
I would say, and like expert strategist.
Yep.
And he taught Nightwing all that stuff. So being trained under Batman himself, that gives you a pretty good advantage.
Good edge.
Daredevil, he just fights low-level crime, low-level thieves. I don't think he's ever had any like real battles. I know he fought Bullseye in the comics. Bullseye is a villain who's notorious for never missing any of his shots. So, and I think the first time he fought Daredevil, he missed a shot against Daredevil, which made Bullseye like, oh, I gotta kill Daredevil. You know,
that's cool. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
That's kind of why.
That's pretty cool.
That's the history between those two guys.
Yeah.
But all in all, Nightwing just has more experience, I'd say.
I feel like he does.
Yeah, fighting alongside Batman. I'm sure Robin or Nightwing was in the same room as like some of the great Justice League, like probably with like Green Arrow and like Superman and stuff. So I'm sure he was downloading all that information as well.
He's also a very good detective.
Yes.
Because Batman has taught him that.
Yes,
definitely. So he would be able to detect he might be able to figure out that even Daredevil is blind.
Yeah.
And know that he can't see, but he can hear.
Yeah.
You know?
And then Nightwing would just go for like ear clap or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen that thing where like they clap your ears and it knocks you over?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I'm not too sure about Daredevil's intelligence, but Nightwing, every hit, at least for like the first 15 hits, would be like a test hit. Like just testing his enemy. Like
I don't even know if he would attack him. At first, you know, he might do a lot of, like you said, when Captain America and Batman fought. I feel like both of them, because I think Daredevil's pretty intelligent of how he fights his guys.
I'm not saying he's dumb or anything.
I know what you meant. But I feel like a lot of them, that would be like their standoff, where they would be moving around. And they'd be like pushing each other out of the way and just testing each other before they actually got down and dirty, like down to the fist.
So that's the bare bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It would be pretty gritty, and I feel like a few arms would be broken and maybe some legs. And like bones would be shattered, but definitely. I think Nightwing... I'm not saying that he comes out of this unscathed. I think Nightwing just barely scrapes by with Daredevil.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
yeah.
Daredevil's good, but Nightwing is probably just better.
Probably just better.
So I'm gonna have to give this one to Nightwing.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's it.
DC, you got another one. Are you happy now? Are you happy now, DC?
You made the Marvel fans say that one of your characters would win. What did you do to him? Look at him. He's broken. He's a shell of a man.
Don't look at me.
All right, well, thank you everybody so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was something different, something new. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for Shorty over here coming over. Check him out on his YouTube channel. Again, it is
Shorter Studios. I just make random videos. Yeah.
They're pretty hilarious, even though I've never seen any of them. I hope you guys really liked this video. If you did, would you please tap that like button and tap that subscribe button to see more videos that I have done, more videos that I will be doing in the future. That's actually really good. I'm actually pretty impressed. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.